Hey, what is up guys? Epic Pokemon TCG here, and today guys I'm going to be bringing you a set review for Ancient Origins, or Bandit Ring as it is known in Japan. And I figured I would do this since my pre-release is of course Sunday, and I'll actually have physical contact with the cards and everything. And I'm just going to go over some cards here that stand out in the set for me. But if you guys have some ideas or something that you think I might have missed, then really phone then that comment section down below is definitely open. Or you can go to my Facebook page and talk to there. So, yeah. Let me see if I can find something here. Yeah. So, for Theme Deck Thursday purposes, I'm really excited about this. The theme decks will feature Metagross and Regirock, so I'm really happy about that. So, that's two theme decks I can cover in Theme Deck Thursday. Alright, so we're going to start off with one of the cards that is actually making a comeback to the Pokemon TCG, and that is Vileplume. And it has this ability called Frustrating Pollen. I really hope this doesn't get, translated to something else, because this is honestly a perfect name. As long as this Pokemon is in play, both you and your opponent cannot play item cards. Now, this is very similar to the old, actually it's the exact same thing as the old Vileplume from Heart Gold Soul Silver, and I believe there's another Vileplume that actually does the same thing that came before that. So Vileplume is going to be a very, very, very good card. But unlike before, now we have cards like we have Hex Maniac, which I will be going over here in a little bit, and we do have Lysander, and I'm like choking up here for some reason. Goodness gracious! All right, so we do have we have Lysander, we have Hex Maniac, and we have ways that to bring it up off the bench or shut down its ability for a turn. We really didn't necessarily have that back in Heart Gold Soul Silver. We had Luxray, but just Lysander is, pretty much a really good way to get it up now. And I feel like Vileplume is going to be a very, very good card, but I also feel like it's going to be able to be countered, which really I think is really good because you can kind of balance the card a little bit. So Vileplume is a good card. It's a very good card, but it can be stopped, which is another really cool thing. So I'm very excited for Vileplume. Also I'm going to get to the card here in a minute, but some decks that I think are going to be good, which is going to be Giratina Vileplume. That's a deck that's already being hyped up. And for Expanded, unfortunately this is going to be a deck which I'm hoping, the fact that Executor ran off of trainers and everything, hoping that Vileplume doesn't absolutely break it. I'm not going to bring in the possibility of a ban list in this video. So in case you're like, oh Dylan, all the stuff you're talking about, there's going to be a ban list. I'm not going to bring that in. I'm just not. So we're just going to talk like there isn't even a possibility of one, because I haven't heard any official news on it, honestly. But Vileplume, along with Executor, that shuts down supporters, so your opponent's going to be limited to supporters and trainers. They can't play it, so that's pretty good. I don't think Blossom's anything too interesting. Next up, we have Ariados. This actually has a really good ability. Fortunately, Verbeck City Gym is going to be gone when this card, starts becoming big. And so that's Ariados. Has the ability Poison Nest. Once during your turn before you attack, you may use this ability. Both active Pokemon are poison, excluding grass Pokemon. So there's actually a few cards in this set that actually, I think there's like two or three, that actually benefit from being affected by a special condition. And here is one of them, one of these two. Yeah, it's this one. So Ariados is going to be really good to set up stuff that it does extra damage whenever you're about to attack, or if you might need some extra damage on the board or something like that. And the cool thing about all these grass Pokemon here is we do have the new stadium. I can't remember what it's called, so I'm just going to call it Broken Vine Space. All right, that's what I'm just going to call it. So Ariados can get out on the field pretty quick. Vileplume can get out on the field pretty quick, and that's something to look out for. Next up, we have a couple of the cards that are being hyped the most, and that is Sceptile and Mega Sceptile. And I'm going to go over regular Sceptile here first. For Grass Energy, Sleep Poison, 10 damage, flip a coin. If had your opponent's active Pokemon is now Sleep and Poison. So pretty much this Sceptile has a Hypnotoxic Laser built into its attack. And the second attack, Assassin's Claw. If your opponent's active Pokemon is affected by a special condition, this attack does 70 more damage. So, obvious partner there with Ariados. And next up we have Mega Sceptile, and there is a Spirit Link. So the Mega Evolution rule, you know, it still stands. You know, whenever you Mega Evolve, your turn ends unless you have a Spirit Link on the on your Pokemon. And I think he has the Stop trait, whatever. I can't remember what the hell these are called. Prevent all effects of your opponent's abilities done to this Pokemon. So pretty much, and yes, I'm eating. It's breakfast. So pretty much, you know, your opponent can't affect you with special abilities and whatnot. So that's pretty good. And then for two energy, a grass and a colorless, Jagged Saber does 100 damage. You may attach up to 2 grass energy from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon in any way you like. If you do, remove all damage from each Pokemon you attach them to. That is pretty ridiculous. If you can keep circulating energy into your hand. And the cool thing is we're more likely losing in. If you saw the Battle Arena deck video I did previously, I still don't know what the situation on that is, but really there's not a card that your opponent can play that'll make you shuffle your hand back into your deck. So you know there's a possibility if you do have the grass energies, you're going to lose them. That's pretty much gone now. So you know, this is a really cool attack. This is a really good Pokemon. It does a solid 100 damage, which, you know, honestly, it can two-shot most Megas and even Pokemon with high HP. Pretty much all the Pokemon with like really high HP, for the most part, they are weak to grass. I know this falls short against a few Pokemon, but for the most part, you know, you can easily just play Ariados, honestly, and you know, get like maybe 10-20 extra damage. So I think Mega Sceptile is going to be a very good deck. I just, you know, it's really good. And we also have a Lugia that does pretty much what Mewtwo did. You can easily splash that in there, and this card has a lot of cool potential, I think. And I'm gonna have to give it a whirl, honestly. Sceptile is one of my favorite Pokemon. Alright, so next up, we have a card that is getting a lot of hype as well, and that is Vespiqueen. Now, I'm really glad that this thing doesn't have this double trait, because that'd be a little ridiculous. So, here's Vespiqueen. It does B Revenge for 20 plus damage, and then 10 more for each Pokemon in your discard pile. That sounds like Flareon, doesn't it? Well, that's pretty much what it is. Except Flareon didn't have this other attack. Information Control, 10 damage. You may draw cards from your deck until you have 6 in your hand. So if you're really low on cards and you're just like, okay, I need to get a hand, you can use the Information Control, and it's really good. One thing that does worry me is Combee only had Combee. I said Combee. Oh my god, Combee only has 40 HP. And so, you know, with Latios running around and such, you know, that's plus 40 HP just isn't that, you know, sturdy in today's format. But Vespiqueen is going to be good, mostly because of some of the cards down below. And there's one of them. I'm going to go over this Virizion here though, because I feel like this Virizion might be pretty cool, to play, because honestly, it hits the living crap out of grass weak Pokemon, which are really popular right now. So you got this Virizion here. It does Rescue Search, search your discard file for 2 Pokemon, put them in your hand, show them to opponent and put them in your hand, excuse me. And then for 2 grass energy, prize counter, 40 plus damage. If you have more prize cards left in your opponent, this attack does 80 more damage. So that's a cool card. It may be a one-of possibility, possibly in Sceptile, but we'll just have to see there. But overall, I do feel like this card has some pretty cool potential. And here's the reason, honestly, why Vespiqueen is going to be as good as it is and just amazing. That's Flareon. Actually, there's 2 Eeveelutions that, you know, are just going to make it really, really flexible and really, really just powerful. Something that Flareon did not have. But that's the ability Flare Effect. As long as this Pokemon is in play, all of your Stage 1 are treated as Fire type as well as their original type. So we're looking at Vespiqueen. I think I said Combee a minute ago when I was talking about the card, but whatever. Vespiqueen is Grass. and if you have a Flare out, it's Grass and Fire. So that's really good. So now you're going to be hitting for a lot of damage, but you're going to be hitting for multiple weaknesses. That's really, really good. And has Heat Breath. I don't know if you're ever going to be attacking with this, but another thing that the Vespiqueen also benefits from, that's something I've been looking at, is if you have this out, I'm pretty sure you can actually. You can Blacksmith onto Pokemon too. So if you have Flare out, you're going to be benefiting from Blacksmith, and I think that is so cool, honestly. I feel like that's a very, very cool thing to have, and it just makes a lot of decks a little more interesting for the most part. And alright, we're going to be going and looking at Entei here. Let's see here. Burning Scent. Discard the top 4 cards of your deck. Attach any fire energy you find there to your Pokemon any way you like. Not that good. Combat Blaze, 20 plus damage. That was 20 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. I mean, that's okay, I guess. For the most part, I mean, it's kind of mediocre. Now, if that second attack was on this one, then it might be good. So we're going to take a look at this Entei here. It has the double trait. This Pokemon will have 2 tools attached to it. For a Fire and a Colorless Flame Barrier, 30 damage. During your opponent's next turn, reduce all damage done to this Pokemon from your opponent's attacks by 30. 30. That's not that good. Heat Tackle, for 4 energy, 130 damage. Then flip a coin if tails as the Pokemon does 30 damage to itself. Entei is like one of the most popular legendaries, honestly. I mean, it had its own movie, but they can't make a good one for some reason. Okay, Volcarona. There's some Gyarados. I don't really know. This one's kind of interesting. Counterattack, 30 damage. Take this 30 damage times the number of damage cards on all your bench Magic card. I don't know if that's going to be good. Here is Vaporeon. It does the exact same thing as Flareon, except it does Water type. I feel like this one's going to be the less relevant one because there isn't really that many things I see that are big threats in the meta that are weak to fire, or not. Well, I mean water. Excuse me. If Landorus was still in the format, maybe. If Pyroar was a big thing, maybe. But just for the most part, I mean, it just doesn't look like it. I'm getting a new Relicanth. I feel like this was a cool card here. Alright. One of my best friends is really into fossils, and I actually have to give it to him on this one. I can't believe they're not focusing on Mega Aerodactyl yet or anything like that. It just really bothers me. Anyway, I don't know why they have hateful scoring against fossils, but whatever. So for a color synergy, you have Deep Sea Search. Search your deck for up to 2 Pokemon tool cards, show them to your opponent and put them in your hand. So you grab 2 tools from your hand. It's pretty nice, honestly. And take down 30 damage, or this Pokemon does 10 to itself. It's kind of but the first attack, is pretty cool. Then we got the Regis up in here. The Regis are kind of mediocre, honestly. So that sucks. We have a new Kyurem EX. I feel like this is just one of those filler EXs. It's really nothing too special. Frozen World, stack does 30 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. So I mean, 3 energies. You're just hitting everything for 30. That's We have Ice Caliber. That's a cool name. 130 damage. Discard 1 energy. You catch this Pokemon. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't attack. These are good attacks, but they just take too much energy, I feel like. Maybe if they cut one of the waters off on each attack, that would be really good. But now we're getting into the evolution that I think is going to matter the most, honestly. And that's Jolteon. It does exactly what Flareon and Vaporeon does, obviously, except for it adds electric to it. So now you're going to be hitting cards like Rayquaza, Shaman. You're going to be hitting Lugia, and pretty much anything that is weak to electric. And that is very good because honestly, that's still going to be popular in the upcoming format. Even with the rotation and everything. So I feel like Jolteon is definitely going to be the most important type to have, or the most important type of evolution you want to have in your deck. which is really cool because if you have a deck that really struggles against Rayquaza or something like that, or if you have a way you can just pick off Shamans really easy, Jolteon is definitely the way to go. You can splash like a 2/2 line of this in your deck, and it's pretty sweet. The cool thing is with these decks, if you have like attacks that take like colorless energy or something like that, and then you could just splash some of these in your deck along with like maybe the Energy Evolution, Eevee, or the Wallies or whatever. That'd be pretty cool. Something I was looking at is excuse me, is that Seismitoad EX can actually hit for the weaknesses now of pretty much everything. That's really cool. You can you can have a Seismitoad out and you can hit for like 100 damage with like just a DC and a Muscle Band. So that's pretty sweet. I feel like that's something I'm gonna have to mess around with. But now we're gonna be getting to Ampharos here. Ampharos EX. Thunder Rod. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may attach as many electric energies you find there to this Pokemon, and then shuffle the remaining cards back in your deck. That's pretty cool because, in case you couldn't tell, Ampharos takes a lot of freaking energy. So for 2 lightning and a DC, Sparking Tail does 100 damage. This attacks damage isn't affected by weakness, resistance, or any other effects on a defending Pokemon. So pretty much it's a solid 100 for 4. That's not that good. Now here's where I probably tick off a lot of you, because I don't see this card being all that big of a threat, honestly. Yeah, you have Mega Patch, yeah, you have the new special electric energy and blah blah blah, but I just don't see this as being like a big meta card. So we're gonna look at Super Saiyan 3 Ampharos. For 4 energies, Escavolt, 120 damage. You may make this attack do 50 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Hold on. I messed that up. I'm sorry. You may make this attack do 50 more damage and your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. If you do, this Pokemon is 30 damage to itself. So you're going to be hitting for 170, which is really good. That's a lot. That's a magic number a lot of times with a lot of Pokemon, honestly. And you're taking 30 in return. So my problem is, you just have. I mean, this can be charged up. I'm not saying that it can't, but I'm saying it's going to probably be a little more difficult. But I don't know if this card does get good. I mean, I won't be surprised. But for the most part, I don't think it's like tier 1, maybe tier 3, maybe even tier 2. I don't know. But yeah, this if I were to get this, I just would not be that excited about it. So you got a new Rotom, and here's a card I'm looking at, and this thing is gonna be ridiculous. All right, so as you know, we do have Vespiqueen. It does wrong Vespiqueen. Be Revenge, 20 plus damage, 10 more for each Pokemon in your discard pile. Alright. This thing has an ability, Last Will. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may discard this Pokemon and all cards attached to it. Then draw a card. It doesn't count as it being knocked out. If Ditto was not rotating, holy crap. Oh goodness. But still, Unown is a very, very good card. And I honestly feel like it's a 4 of and Vespiqueen. I really do. I feel like you need 4 Unown and Vespiqueen, because you're getting so many benefits from it. When you discard it, you're getting a Pokemon in the discard pile, and you're just getting a free card. Also, you could honestly put Unown in anything. I mean, really, you honestly can. So that's really cool. And I feel like that's just going to be put in Vespiqueen. Oh yeah, another thing I forgot to mention about the Eeveelutions is that if you don't need a specific type for a matchup, then you can just easily play Battle Compressor and just discard the Eeveelutions you don't need. So that's pretty sweet. Alright. So here's a Golurk that's pretty cool. So we have the Eeveelutions up there. They cover water, fire, and electric weakness. Well, if you have any of those out, they have the possibility. Excuse me, I cannot talk. Because this thing here has a double ability type. As long as this Pokemon is in play, it is both Psychic and Fighting type. So you're looking at the possibility of having 5 types on one Pokemon, and that's really, really sweet. This card also benefits from Dimension Valley. It benefits from Fighting Stadium, Strong Energy, because it's both types, and you know, it's really cool. I mean, it's a cool card. Superpower, 80 plus damage. You may make this attack do 40 more damage. If you do, this Pokemon does 20 to itself. A lot of the cards in this set, if you attack, you do damage to yourself. I kind of see the pattern there. But still, it's really nice, honestly. It's not that bad on HP. It has 130. It's a stage 1. It looks like stage 1s are really starting to get, you know, some support here finally, which is really good. So Golurk, I feel like, is going to be a fun card to mess around with, and you know, it will be a deck. I mean, there's no way that you know, people aren't going to try to mess around with this. But you know, going back to the thing about Ampharos, I don't feel like this is going to be a major competitive deck, but it's definitely something to mess around with. All right, so we have probably the most biggest support Pokemon in this set, and that's Hoopa EX. Ability, Bandit Ring. I don't know. I'm guessing, you know, it's not going to be translated to Ancient Origins. It's going to be kind of stupid, but once during your turn before you attack, when you play this Pokemon from your hand on your bench, you may use this ability. Search your deck for up to 3 Pokemon EX, excluding Hoopa. Show them to your opponent. Put them in your hand. Holy freaking crap, dude! So you're looking at possibly grabbing a Shaman and 2 attackers, or 2 Shaman and an attacker, doesn't matter. But you can pretty much grab anything, and I think grabbing a Shaman, you know, it's basically a Pokemon collector for EXs in the form of a Pokemon. And we do have cards like AZ or whatever, so we just pick this thing right back up. So it's really not that big of a deal. Or, you know, I feel like this is going to be a card that's going to be splashed into a lot of decks that run Skyfield as well. So once it's served its purpose, and your opponent discards your Skyfield, then you can just get rid of it. So this is a really, really cool card. I think I really think this is a fantastic card, and I really hope I can get my hands on a couple of them. So Hoopa EX, one of my favorite cards in the set already. So, awesome there. Alright, next up we have Machamp. Alright, so you guys remember the Ariados from before? If you don't, here it is. Once during your turn, before you attack both, yeah, you may use this ability. Both active Pokemon are now poisoned, excluding grass Pokemon. Alrighty, now we're going to go back down to Machamp. There we go. Alright, so we're going to look at the first attack first. Thrash, 20 times damage. This attack does 20 times the number of damage counters on this Pokemon, and then it's confused. So that's really good. Oh crap, Keldeo's rotating. This sucks. Anyway, that's really cool. You can have like a Machamp that's heavily damaged or whatever. You can have a big attack just go off. So that's really cool. Crazy Hammer, 80 plus damage. If this Pokemon is affected by a special condition, this attack does 80 more damage. Then remove all special conditions from this Pokemon. Okay, this is honestly a deck I am looking at. It's really cool, and yeah, I feel like this is gonna be tier 2 at least, because you poison your opponent and you poison Machamp, but when you attack with Machamp, you just take away all special conditions. So you're not getting the unfortunate 10 damage between turns like your opponent is. Also, your opponent is going to be hit by 160 damage, and that's without Fighting Stadium, that's without Muscle Band, that's without Strong Energy. All right, we're not adding those in yet. That's 160 damage plus poison. That's 170 damage. Now, if you have a Muscle Band, that's 190 damage. If you have a Fighting Stadium, that's 210 damage. And it's just holy crap. So, Machamp can hit for a lot of damage. Honestly, it can hit for a lot of damage. It's ridiculous. And its biggest threat, Mewtwo EX, is cycling out. You know, Mewtwo will have hindered this card, honestly. So, Machamp EX, again, one of my favorite cards in the set. Cannot wait. Machamp holds a very special place in my heart as far as the Pokemon TCG goes. That was my first main competitive deck when I first started, was Machamp with Takeout from Stormfront. So I'm really happy I might get to use Machamp again. So definitely one of my favorite cards. This Regirock pales in comparison to the other one. Alright, next up we have Tyranitar. For a Dark and a DC Head Smash, 60 damage, pretty okay attack. Too many energy, I feel like, but you know, that's going to happen with T-Tar. For 2 darks and a DC. Ground Break, 130 damage, and it does 10 to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. It's okay, I guess. And we have Mega Tyranitar EX. Alright. So this does have a Spirit Link, and it has the double thing here, which means this Pokemon have 2 tools attached to it. Now, I feel like this is going to be more... Okay, I'm going to talk about this card and the possibility of expanded, because I just feel like that's where it's going to be the most relevant. So, Destroyer King, 110 damage, and then it does 60 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. Alright, so we're getting this card called Bad Energy. And whenever your opponent attacks your dark Pokemon that it's attached to, it does 20 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Then you have this double thing here. So potentially you could probably put a Rock Guard if you even want to. You can put a Rock Guard, you can put a couple Rocky Helmets on it or something like that. And then you can have Bad Energy. And also you'll have Dark Patch if you play this in Expanded. That's another thing to look at. So that 4 energy, is really, really achievable now. Of course, yeah. Okay, going back to Ampharos. Yeah, you could probably set that up pretty easily. Now that I think about it. Yeah. All right. Okay. So you have Dark Patch and you have Bad Energy. So if you have like a couple Bad Energy, like let's say you have 2 Bad Energy, and you have a Rock Guard and you have a Muscle Band, your opponent is going to be taking a lot of, or not Muscle Band, Rocky Helmet, Rock Guard. Excuse me. Your opponent is going to be taking a lot of damage just attacking Tyranitar. So that's really good. We got Sableye, and it's an okay attack. It's an okay starter for dark types now. Captivating Eye. Choose a support card in your opponent's discard pile and use it as its effect. Well, okay. It kind of reminds me of the old Sableye from Stormfront. It does very similar things. Thank you, phone. Appreciate that. Does very similar things. The old one from Stormfront, I think, copied your supporter in your discard pile. So this is a pretty cool card. I feel like, yeah, it's an okay card. Here, I think.
Yeah.
Really fun. This will probably be the Metagross in the theme deck. So there's Regirock. Nothing too special there. Whimsicott. Keep hearing Whimsicott's a cool card. Wind Mischief. Choose one of your bench Pokemon. Move all damage counters from that Pokemon onto your opponent's active Pokemon. Huh. That's not bad. Alright. So here is the partner with Vileplume. And that is an amazing picture. I'm just going to throw that out there. So, the ability Rebellious Way. Prevent all effects of an attack, including damage done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Mega Evolved Pokemon. So Giratina is going to be blocked from Megas. Vileplume is going to stop trainers. So I feel like these two are a pretty good combination. And you also have the ability, or you have the whatever of Double Dragon Energy. So you can play that, and your opponent can Enhanced Hammer them off. They can Zero Sick them, which is probably where the deck is going to have the most problems. But you're going to be stopping them from attacking with their huge attackers, and you'll be stopping them from really doing much of anything. So I feel like this is going to be a very competitive deck. If it isn't, then that sucks. But I feel like Giratina Vileplume is going to be a very cool deck. But we'll just have to see. We're going to look at the attack. Chaos Spell, 100 damage. During your opponent's next turn, he or she can't play any Pokemon Tool, Special Energy, or Stadium cards. Okay? So you're stopping your opponent from doing absolutely anything, really. So they can't do lickety squat because of this attack. So that's going to be a really annoying deck. Alright, so nothing here. There's the new Eevee. Cute little picture. I love Eevee. There he is. So there is Lugia. There's X-Ball, or Arrow Ball, excuse me. And a Deep Hurricane actually has a usable second attack. 80 damage. If there's a Stadium card in play, this attack does 70 more damage and then discard that stadium. So that is pretty good. If one has an annoying stadium out, you can just discard it. I feel like this is just going to be splashed into pretty much any deck. And yeah, apologize for my talking. Yeah, kind of out of it. Alright, so we have Eco Arm. Shuffle 3 Pokemon tools from your discard pile back in your deck. This may be a one-of index just to get your stuff back, like your Spirit Links, your Muscle Bands, or whatever, or your Hard Charms, as you can see right there. Getting a little Hard Charm out of the wreckage. And Paint Roller. Discard a stadium in play, and then draw a card. I feel like this might be a little important just because of the fact that winning the stadium wars and battles are so important. So this may be like a one-of card. Or if you have multiple stadiums in your deck and you need a new one out, you can just or whatever. Even your opponent has. Well, nah, that doesn't matter. You can just play it over. So we have Level Ball. Level Ball is really fun. Come on now. Level Ball is making its triumphant return, which is something a lot of people are very excited about. And this is really going to help out getting a lot of these Pokemon up here. You can get Oddish and Gloom out, and then you can get Spinarak and Ariados out. You can get Combee and Vespiqueen out. You can get your Eevees. Yeah, Level Ball making a return is very, very good because it just helps out so much and gets you Raichus and holy crap, it can get you Raichus and just get you anything. I didn't mean to bring that up. Alright. We got Lucky Helmet, and you can attach this to one of your Pokemon, obviously. And whenever it's knocked out by, or whenever this Pokemon is damaged by an opponent's attack, draw 2 cards. So anytime they attack your Pokemon has Lucky Helmet on there, you can draw 2 cards. It's pretty good. Alright, then you have the Sceptile Spirit Link, you have the Ampharos Spirit Link, the Tyranitar Spirit Link. Yeah, okay. When I saw this card, I didn't see this part of it. Okay, this is what I saw. Both players shuffle their hands to the deck. You draw 6, your opponent draws 3. I was like, oh great, we have an N replacement, but it's even more stupid. And then I saw you can only play this card if you have more prize cards than your opponent. So this may be a one-of index. I don't know yet, just depending on how things work out. But this is, yeah, it's a really interesting supporter. And personally, the best supporter, in my opinion, of this whole entire set is, of course, Hex Maniac. We got this creepy woman sitting here in a graveyard holding a Pokeball and staring at it. Looks like Gollum. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, each Pokemon in play, in player's hand, and discard pile has no abilities. Got the end. So this is a good way to get rid of Vileplume for a turn, or anything else that really has an annoying ability you want to get rid of for a turn. And so yeah, that's a cool way to play around with Vileplume. And if you have you have a handful of trainers, and you draw Hex Maniac, well, you can play them all that turn, if possible. So that's really cool. We have a Color Drain City. Between turns, place 2 damage counters on each Mega Pokemon in play. So I feel like this set is anti-Mega Pokemon, which yeah, hasn't really been a thing like recently. So it's cool. There's some counters to Mega Pokemon. And we have Giant Plant Forest, which I hope gets a new name. Either way, I'm calling it Broken Vine Space. Each player's grass Pokemon can evolve during the first turn and on the turn they were put into play. So you can pretty much, in one turn, go Oddish, Gloom, Vileplume. So that's kind of annoying. Or you can go Spinarak, Ariados. So that's really good. If I mentioned any grass types, I apologize. Oh, Shiftry. Well, yeah, wait, how? I can't remember if Nuzleaf is a grass or dark type in that set, but it's whatever. Then we have Flash Energy, and you can only attach it to electric Pokemon. The electric Pokemon its energy is attached to has no weakness, so if you're having trouble with fighting types, try to splash this in. It should help. And there is the bad energy I was talking about with Tyranitar. This can only be attached to dark Pokemon. If the card is attached to anything other than a dark Pokemon, discard it, kind of like every single other special energy. When the Pokemon this card is attached to is damaged by an attack by your Pokemon EXs, yeah, from your opponent's Pokemon EX. Place 2 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon EX. So that's really good. And here is the full arts. So here's the full art Sceptile. Here's the full arts Mega Sceptile. That looks pretty cool. And Karam has a cool picture too. There's Mega Ampharos. There is Super Saiyan 3 Ampharos. There's Hoopa. Hoopa just looks scary. I'm not even joking. Like look at that face. Machamp looks pretty sweet. I kind of like the original art better than I do the full art. Tyranitar has a pretty cool picture. Has the dark background on it. It's pretty nice. And it just looks like he's screaming at the top of his lungs there. There's Giratina. Again, I like the original art better than I do the full art. Lugia has a cool picture. I like it. Then we have these new sort of reprint Primal and whatever, just the 3 legendary Pokemon for Ruby and Sapphire, the main ones anyway. So they all have different traits but the same attacks. When one of your Pokemon becomes this Pokemon, heal all damage from it. I think all of them have this. Yeah, so they took away the attaching energy thing for Kyogre. They took away not being affected by trainers or anything for that matter for Groudon, and the just evolving right away for Mega Rayquaza. But so there is the art for Groudon. It's pretty nice. There's Kyogre, pretty cool. There is this one. They're all shiny too. I forgot to add that. It's pretty nice. All right, now here's where I get a little mad. So I'm gonna look at Trainer's Mail first. So we have a secret rare Trainer's Mail coming out. I think this card actually does deserve it. And we have this thing. We have a gold rare, secret rare, whatever the heck you want to call it, energy retrieval. I feel like we should get a Floatstone because, yeah, Floatstone, I love that card. We're losing Keldeo, which is like the main problem of it. But yeah, we're getting that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I apologize now if I sounded really weird or just something like that. I'm a little under the weather again. But again, I can go down. So here is one final look through for Ancient Origins. And I want to hear what you guys have to say about this set. What you think is going to be good, what you think isn't going to be good. Did I forget to mention anything? Or just whatever. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, I should have some more Ancient Origins stuff coming soon. And that's pretty much all I got for you today. So take care, guys. I love you. And this is Epic Pokemon TCG signing out. Take care, guys.